Okay. Up to 36. Any even numbers? Anybody any doubt in functions?
32.
32. What is onto function? Onto function means codomain and range are equal, right? So here codomain is given, but domain is not given. So this is set A and this is set B. I have -1 here, 2 here in the codomain. That is also range. But -1 is image of what number? I don't know. 2 is image of what number? I don't know. If I know this number and this number, that is put together, it will be A. So I don't know this number. If you want to know that, let us call that as x. Log x base 5. Okay. For what x value f of x is -1, we don't know. So let us take f of x equal to -1. That is log x base 5 equal to -1. X is equal to 5 power -1, which is 1 by 5. So this is actually 1 by 5. When will f of x will be 2? That is log x base 5 is 2. X is equal to 5 square and 5 square is 25. Okay, so pre-image of -1 is 1 by 5. Pre-image of 2 is 25. That two together is, that is set A. So set A is equal to 1 by 5 and 25, two elements. Is it okay? Now one may say, what is onto has a role here? It has a role because if it is not onto, why this number should have pre-image? In onto function only, every element in the codomain will have pre-image. If it is not onto, maybe this doesn't have pre-image, only this has, or something like that. Okay, any doubt about 34, anybody? You have to find f of x 4 times. I think if you find f of x, you'll get x, right?
Yes, sir.
Again, you find f of x of that, you'll get same x. Okay, 36, anybody has doubt? 38. 40.
Sir, 40.
40. Okay. Today evening, you'll have my class 4:15 to 5:15. Okay, for everybody. 40th one. We can do denominator first or numerator first, whichever way we want. Let us, I'll start with numerator. F of alpha plus beta plus f of alpha minus beta. F of alpha plus beta means 3 power alpha plus beta plus 3 power minus of alpha plus beta by 2. F of alpha minus beta means 3 power alpha minus beta plus 3 power minus of alpha minus beta by 2. That is because they gave f of x is equal to 3 power x plus 3 power minus x by 2. Okay, a power m plus n, I can write a power m into a power n. So this actually can be written as 3 power alpha into 3 power beta. This is 3 power minus alpha into 3 power minus beta. This is 3 power alpha into 3 power minus beta. This is 3 power minus alpha into 3 power beta. So a power m plus n, I wrote a power m into a power n, every term like that. Now from this and this, I can take 3 power alpha common. I will be left with 3 power beta plus 3 power minus beta. From this and this, I can take 3 power minus alpha common. That will give me 3 power minus beta plus 3 power beta whole by 2. This and this are same. I can take that common. That is 3 power beta plus 3 power minus beta. I'll be left with 1 3 power alpha plus 3 power minus alpha. Now already 1 2 is there. One more 2 I'll divide and I'll multiply. This is f of beta, this is f of alpha, this is 2. So f of beta into f of alpha into 2. So we got this is equal to this. Now bring this down, we'll get equal to 2 now. F of alpha plus beta plus f of alpha minus beta by f of alpha into f of beta is 2. Okay, up to 40 even numbers. Anybody else have any other doubt? Okay, 42. Somebody has doubt?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 42, they gave g of n is equal to n minus f of n. N minus, what is f of n is minus 1 whole power n minus 1 into n minus 1. I am going to take two cases. N is even and n is odd. In the case of n is even, g of n will come n minus, whenever n is even, n minus 1 is odd. Minus 1 whole power odd is minus 1 odd. That is n plus n minus 1, which is 2n minus 1. When n is odd, g of n is equal to, when n is odd, n minus 1 is even, minus 1 power even will be positive. So it will be n minus plus 1 into n minus 1. N minus n minus 1, which is 1. Okay, so finally g of n formula is this. 2n minus 1 if n is odd, 1 if n is even. Now they want g of n. This I wrote reverse, sorry. N is even here, n is odd. Okay. Now if I ask anybody the value of g of 3 or g of 5 or g of 7, g of 9. Okay. What is this inner g of 3? What it is going to come?
1.
1. Because whenever n is odd, answer is 1. So it will be g of 1. And what is the value for g of 1?
1.
1 only, because that is also odd. Okay. If you take g of 5, again 5 is odd, because n is odd, answer is 1. So it will be inner part is 1. G of 1 is again 1. This is also same. This is also same. So we take any odd number, g of 3 or 5 or 7, it will become 1. And 1 itself is odd, so g of 1 is always 1. Let us say when you take even number, what happens? What is g of 4? or g of 6 or g of 8 or g of 100. Let us see what happens. What is g of 4?
7.
You have to put in this, not in this. So if you want only g of 4, you have to use even definition. 2 into 4 minus 1, it will be 7. Because 7 is odd, what is g of 7 will be?
1.
1.
If you take g of 6, you have to put 6 here. 2 6 are 12 minus 1, 11. It will be inner part is 11. Again, 11 is odd. I have to use this definition.
1.
Okay. So even if you use 100, g of 100 will be 199. But 199 is odd, again it will be 1. So you put any even number or any odd number, g of n is 1. Why? I don't need all these examples. N may be even or odd. Your input may be even or odd, but your output is always odd. 1 is an odd number. 2n minus 1, is it always odd number?
Yes, sir.
So g of n is odd for all n belongs to z or natural numbers. What are they referring to? Natural numbers. Okay. Because it is odd, g of n, this g of n is odd, so I have to use this definition. It will be 1 for all n belongs to n. Okay. I gave some examples, but after that not required. You have to recognize g of n is always odd. So g of that odd number is always 1. So option E is always 1. Anybody still have doubt about 42? Try to understand. If you have doubt, you can ask me. I'll explain once again. Okay, 44. Anybody has doubt? Okay. So 1 to 44, all even numbers will be completed, right?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Okay. So today, all of you can submit 1 to 44 all even numbers homework. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Other doubts starting from 101, I'll discuss tomorrow. Okay. 102 onwards, any even numbers doubts. At least up to 140 or something, I'll discuss tomorrow. Let me finish the 2 odd numbers which are left, and then we'll go to advanced material.
Sir?
Yes, please.
Sir, once can you see 85th one, sir?
85. Odd number we discussed, na?
Yes, once see, sir.
Okay.
Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir.
You asked me to see and I saw it.
Sorry, sir.
Okay, domain and range, I think we've done mostly in the class, but some doubts Sivaram sir might to discuss, but somebody has doubt, I'm ready to discuss. Okay, so tomorrow I'll discuss then. If you have any doubts from 45 to 100 first. Okay, domain and ranges, any doubts? I think most of them were done in the class also. So 45 to 100, any doubts we'll discuss, and then up to 140 also we'll discuss. Okay, let us finish 129, 131. These are the two questions that are left now. Okay, for 129, you have to know one new function name, signum function. Signum function. Sometimes we'll write this as SGN of X. SGN is a short form of signum, SIGNUM, signum function. There's a particular function that is called signum function. What is that? It is equal to mod X by X if X is not equal to 0. And it is equal to 0 if X equal to 0. Whenever X is 0, it is 0. Whenever X is not 0, it is mod X by X. For the same signum function can be written like this also. It is -1 whenever X is negative. Because when X is negative, mod X is minus X by plus X will be -1. It is 0 when X is 0. And it is 1 if X is greater than 0. You take any positive number. Because when X is positive, mod X and X are same, they'll cancel, you'll get 1. If you want the graph of signum function, for positive values, it is always 1. It is this line, this ray. At 0, it is 0. This is open circle, not there. But after 0, always 1. At 0, it is 0. Before 0, it is always -1. So it has only 3 values in the range. 1, 0 and -1. If somebody asks you what is signum value of 100, 1000, 1 lakh, 1 crore, all are 1 only. Any positive number, it will give answer as 1. Output is 1. When you substitute 0, it will be 0. Any negative number, you want signum value of -2, signum value of -3, signum value of -100 or -1000, it is -1 only. Okay, so it will pause any positive value, it will give 1, any negative value, it will give -1, at 0, it is 0. This is a signum function. Okay, so now here is talking about signum function of fractional part of X. Okay, this is a general definition of signum function. But coming to the present question, they want f of X is equal to signum of X minus integer part of X. That is signum of fractional part of X.
Always 1.
No, fractional part of X has two things. It cannot be negative, but it can be 0 also, no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so it has two parts now. Whenever X is an integer, then fractional part of X is 0. Signum of fractional part of X is also 0. That is f of X is 0. Whenever X is not an integer, then fractional part of X belongs to open interval 0 to 1, which is positive. That is, fractional part of X is greater than 0. Because of that, signum of fractional part of X will be 1. That is f of X. So it is always 1 or 0. If you want to draw the graph, at every integer it is 0. After that, it is always 1. So it is 0 here, 0 here, 0 here, 0 here, 0 here, 0 here. -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest of the time it is 1. Open 1 here. Again open 1. Open 1. This is closed. So mostly it is always 1, but at every integer it drops down to 0. Again goes back to 1. Is this a periodic function? Is the graph is repeating after an interval? What is that interval?
1.
1. After every 1 unit it is repeating. Okay, this dot and this bar together, if you take 1 unit, dot and this bar, again dot and bar, again dot and bar, again dot and bar. You can see after every 1 unit repeat. Without all these things, forget about it. You don't need all these things. If somebody asks me f of fractional part of X, I don't know what is f also, doesn't matter. Because of fractional part of X, period is 1. Why? You replace X with X plus 1, no change here. If there is no change, f of that also no change, right? In fact, let us say whether f is periodic or not at all important. If somebody tells you g of x is a periodic function with period 6, f of g of x is also period 6 only. Why? G of x plus 6 is equal to g of x, I know already. So if you replace x with x plus 6, this doesn't change, so this total also doesn't change. So for f of g of x to be periodic, it is not at all compulsory that f should be periodic. If g of x is periodic, automatically f of g of x is also periodic. In the same way, what is signum function is not required to know. Fractional part of x alone period is 1, I know that. The graph is, fractional part of x graph, it goes like this. After every 1 unit, it repeats. So because this periodicity is 1, this total also periodicity is 1. I am just giving a more clarity of what is signum fractional part of x in detail, but it is not unnecessary. Okay, so I gave you what is signum function definition clearly with the graph, and then what is signum of fractional part of x, how the values are changing. Without all that, I was also saying that what is signum function is not important here, because fractional part of x period is 1, this total is also period is 1. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
If you want, you can write somewhere a note. Even if g of x is periodic, f of g of x is also periodic, irrespective of is also periodic with period t. That's periodic with period t. Or with okay, let's say g of x is periodic. Then f of g of x is also periodic with the same period as g of x. The same period as g of x, irrespective of whether irrespective of periodicity of f. Irrespective of periodicity of f. Whether f is periodic or not. If g is periodic, okay, we just a note. Okay. So if somebody want to write mod x by x, x is not equal to 0. Anybody any doubt regarding what is signum function or what we have done here or about that note? Rhythm, do you want to say something? Yeah, you are not audible, Rhythm. Only noise was coming. You're able to hear me, right? Okay, so 129, you want me to explain once again. So I'm saying few things. First thing, SGN of x is signum function. It is a new function. What is the definition? Whenever x is not equal to 0, it is mod x by x. Whenever x is 0, it is 0. They define like that. Do not ask why they define like that. They just define. Now this I can break into two parts. Whenever x is positive, mod x and x are same, so they'll cancel, 1 will come. Whenever x is negative, mod x is minus x by x is minus 1. So another way to define signum function is, for any negative value, the image is minus 1. For any positive value, image is 1. For 0, it is 0. So if you want a signum function of 100 or 1000 or 1 lakh, it will be 1 only. If you want signum function of minus 2 or minus root 3 or minus 1000, it will be minus 1. Signum function of 0 will be 0. So this is a graph. At 0, it is 0. After 0, it is always 1. This is a graph, this ray. And before 0, it is always minus 1. So the graph is this ray, and this dot. Okay, this is a definition of signum function. Is that part clear?
Yes, sir.
Now they want signum of fractional part of x. So now then I have to know whether fractional part of x is negative or 0 or positive. I know about fractional part of x quite thoroughly, that it is never negative, it is always between 0 to 1. So two cases. Whenever x is an integer, fractional part of x is 0. Because it is 0, signum of that is also 0. Whenever x is not an integer, fractional part of x is some number between 0 to 1, which is positive number. It may be 0 0.1, 0 0.2, 0 0.3, 0 0.99. Because it is always positive, signum of that is 1. For any positive number, signum function value will be 1. So finally, what you get for f of x? For every integer, answer is 0. For every non-integer, answer is 1. You can see that in the graph. At every integer, I kept full circle. When it is between 0 to 1, it is always 1. When it is between 1 to 2, it is always 1. Other than integer, you take any other number, it is 1. So the graph is mostly this line. Few dots are missing. Whenever dots are missing, the dots are here. This is a graph. You can see after every 1 unit, the graph is repeated. That is one way to say. Another way is, without understanding all that, you take, whether you take sine of fractional part of x, or you take fractional part of x whole square, or you take tan of fractional part of x, or you take e power fractional part of x, doesn't matter. Okay, for all of them, period is 1 only, because fractional part of x period is 1. Okay, when fractional part of, that's what I'm mentioning here. When you take f of g of x, what is f? We don't even care. If g of x is period with capital T, f of g of x is also period with capital T, because you replace x with x plus t, no change here. If there is no change in the inner part, the total also no change. Any one of them here, you replace x with x plus 1. Fractional part of x plus 1 is same as fractional part of x. So this doesn't change, this doesn't change. So when you replace x with x plus 1, all these things doesn't change. So if fractional part of x period is 1, all these also period is 1. In the same way, signum of fractional part of x also period is 1. So without doing all that also, we can say that one. Ritamda, are you clear now? Whether I take e power sin x, 2 power sin x, okay, some other function I want to put it, let us say, it's okay, tan of sin x. What is the period of all of them?
2 pi.
2 pi.
2 pi.
Because sin x period is 2 pi, when you put sin x in e power x or 2 power x or tan x or log x or something like that, or log mod x or something, it will be 2 pi. Of course, mod can change the answer, but overall. All right. Okay. 131. They gave f of 2x plus 3 plus f of 2x plus 7 equal to 2. Based on this, they want to know what is the period of f of x. I am going to take 2x plus 3 as some t. Then 2x plus 3 plus 4, when I add, I'll get 2x plus 7 as t plus 4. So wherever 2x plus 3 is there, I'll write t, and this I'm going, okay. So I'm going to write f of t plus f of t plus 4 equal to 2. I want to find what is the period of f of x or f of t from this. How to proceed further?
Replace t with t plus 4.
Yeah, replace t with t plus 4. This will be f of t plus 4. This will be f of t plus 8. Now subtract. This and this will cancel. You will get f of t minus f of t plus 8 equal to 0. Send that side. You will get f of t equal to f of t plus 8. Now, what is the period of this? If f of t equal to f of t plus 8, what is the period?
8.
8. That's it. Period of, you can call f of t or f of x, doesn't matter, is 8. Okay, so 132 to till end, both even and odd, you can try, and we will discuss the doubts after doing an order. Now we will go to advanced material. So if you have advanced material with you, hard copies, take them out. Anybody any doubt regarding 131? Okay, advanced material also will do odd numbers in all the sections. You can do even numbers on your own. This is page number 132 in advanced material. Okay, so functions, advanced material, single answer question, section 1 in that first question. F of x equal to 2x plus 3. If you draw the graph of y equal to 2x plus 3, it is a simple straight line with y-intercept 3 and slope 2. Somewhat like this. This is a graph. Okay. So when you take this full straight line graph, you draw any horizontal line, it will intersect only once. So based on horizontal line test, what I can say?
1, 1.
It is 1, 1. And if you look at all the y values, okay, take y coordinate of each of these points. What y coordinates are covered?
All real numbers.
All real numbers.
So range and codomains are equal. Okay. So either you can use horizontal line test. Anyway, they mentioned FR2R. Horizontal line test. Or you can start with f of x1 equal to f of x to see what happens. We'll get 2x1 plus 3 equal to 2x2 plus 3. 3 will cancel. We'll get 2x1 equal to 2x2. Cancel 2. We'll get x1 equal to x2. If we start with f of x1 equal to f of x2 and we get only x1 equal to x2, nothing else, then f is 1. So either by horizontal line test or this, you will get f is 1. Very simple thing that you cannot think of two different x values which can give same image here. It's not possible. Okay, and the range is all real numbers, which is equal to codomain. In fact, for every number, pre-image is there. Okay, if somebody wants a pre-image of k, it is k minus 3 by 2. Equate this to k, you'll get k minus 3 by 2. Okay, pre-image of k is. So whatever element you take in the codomain, the corresponding pre-image I am able to tell. So every number has pre-image, that's where ranges are. Or you can directly say from the graph only that ranges are. So there is no number which doesn't have pre-image. Because if not pre-image of any number, it is simply that number minus 3 by 2. All right, first question.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, third question. F is from R to R. F of x is e power mod x minus e power minus x by e power x plus e power minus x. We cannot always draw the graph because sometimes it is a waste of time drawing the graph, takes time unnecessarily. Without that, you can take some numbers, try to find f of 2, f of 3, f of 9, f of 100. Get a feel of this function first of all. Anybody want to tell me what is f of minus 2? Answer here will be
0.
When you put minus 2, it will be e square. E power minus of minus 2 is also e square. So it will be 0. What about f of minus 3?
0.
0.
For any negative number, it is 0 because negative number mod x definition is minus x. This and this are same. Okay. So for all x less than or equal to 0, f of x is 0 only. Whether you take minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 0.2, doesn't matter. 0 itself also. So it is not 1, 1. So f is not 1, 1. Because many numbers have same image. Minus 2, minus 3, minus 5, all of them have same image. Now I want to get an idea about the range of this. So I can write f of x like this. Whenever x is less than or equal to 0, it is 0. Whenever x is greater than 0, I can write mod x as x e power x minus e power minus x by e power x plus e power minus x. If you substitute any positive number, the answer, will it come positive or negative? If I take f of 5, f of 2, f of 0.2, f of 100,
Positive.
will I get positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive. e power x is positive, e power minus x is positive, their sum is positive, so denominator is fine. Coming to numerator, e power x is greater than e power minus x for positive values. Why? What is the graph of e power x? This one. This is a graph of e power x. What is the graph of e power minus x? This one. This is a graph of e power minus x. So for all positive values, you can see e power x is higher and e power minus x is lower. In fact, this will be more than 1. When you take any number more than 0, this will be more than 1 and this will be less than 1. A number more than 1 minus a number less than 1 will be positive. Okay, so numerator is positive, denominator is positive. Anybody want to tell what is the range of this?
Less than 1.
Yeah, it is less than 1. You can same simple logic that numerator is smaller than denominator, because here I have something minus something, in the denominator something plus something. So numerator is bigger or denominator is bigger?
Denominator is
Bigger. So something smaller by something bigger, both are positive, it will be less than 1. Okay. So actually the range of this is open interval 0 to 1 actually. Okay. So if you really want the graph of this function, okay, it is always 0 here for all negative values. And when you take 1, it will be trying to become 1 like this. This is 1, it is trying to touch that line. And x is infinity. All of you are studying limits, right?
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
When I try to find limit of this at infinity, okay, let us divide with e power x everywhere. This is actually e power x minus 1 by e power x by e power x plus 1 by e power x. I'll take this e power x common, this e power x common and divide. It is going to be 1 minus e power x whole square by 1 plus e power x whole square. Tell me, when x is tending to infinity, what will happen to this limit?
Tends to 1.
E power infinity is infinity. Infinity square is also infinity. 1 by infinity will be 0. This is becoming 0. This is becoming 0. 1 by very big number. 1 minus 0 by 1 plus 0. It will be 1. That's what I'm showing here. It is trying to reach 1. Okay, so this is a graph of this function. Okay, we don't need exact graph. Okay, because f is not 1 1. It is not also not onto very easy to tell, because this is 0 and this is always positive. So negative values are not covered, and more than 1 values are not covered. Okay, so I can write exact range, but before, first of all, I will write range as close to 0 to 1. But more than that, you can say range doesn't contain negative values, negative real numbers. Okay, comma, real numbers greater than 1. So even if you are not able to tell exact range, not a problem. You can just tell that this cannot be negative, this cannot be negative. So whatever x you substitute, answer can never be negative, output can never be negative, and output can never be more than 1. So in the codomain, many elements are there which are more than 1. Many negative real numbers are there, they are not used. So range and codomain are not equal. It is not equal to codomain. So f is not on. It is neither 1 1 nor on 2. Okay, just try other odd numbers. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Okay, so this third question, anybody still doubt? Okay, so everybody clear about the third question, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fifth question, they gave f of x and they're asking the inverse function. We'll take f of x as y and try to find the standard way to find inverse function. So f is mentioned minus infinity to 2 to minus infinity to 4. F of x is equal to x into 4 minus x, which is 4x minus x square. Let f of x is equal to y. That is 4x minus x square equal to 5. Send everything one side, we'll get a quadratic equation x square minus 4x plus y equal to 0. You can use minus p plus r minus all that. 4 plus r minus 2 power 16 minus 4y by 2. You can take 4 common, it will be 2 plus r minus root 4 minus y. So you got f inverse y, which is equal to x as 2 plus root 4 minus y or 2 minus root 4 minus 1. Whenever two answers are coming, I told you how to decide which one is correct.
Yes, sir. It's 2 minus root of 4 minus, sir.
How this one? Why not this one?
Because it is a domain.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, domain is less than 2 we want. So whatever range of this, that should be domain here, and our domain is less than 2. 2 plus will be more than 2. 2 minus will be less than 2. So this range will be 2 to infinity, whereas this range will be minus infinity to 2. Our domain is that, so we'll accept that. Okay, that is one reason. Any other method anybody want to say? Why not this one? Why this one?
Substitute.
Yeah, take some number in the domain, find the answer. That answer you put it here, whichever gives. That is, for example, if you take f of 0, f of 0 is 0. Then f inverse 0 should be 0. So put y as 0 here and here, whichever gives, that is correct. If you put 0, this answer will be 2 plus 2, 4. If you put here 2 minus 2, 0, so that's why that is right. Not only 0, you can take anything in the domain. For example, somebody can take f of 1. F of 1 is 3. So from that, you will get f inverse 3 should be 1. Any one of them. Okay, so you can take some number in the domain, find its image. That image substitute here, whichever gives your original number back. Yes. Any other method? Anybody want to tell? You are getting two answers. How will you decide which answer is right?
By drawing graph.
Yes, you can draw the graph also. Let us see what is the graph of x into 4 minus x. Y equal to x into 4 minus x. If you take minus common, it is minus x into x minus 4. Or I can also write this as 4 minus x minus 2 whole square also. Either way. Okay, if it is this, I have to draw x square graph, horizontal shift by 2 units, multiply with minus, move upward by 4 units. If it is this, at 0 it is 0, this one. Okay, at 4 also it is 0. When x is 0, answer is 0. When x is 4, answer is 0. But between 0 and 4, it is negative because this is positive, but this is a minus. Sorry, this is negative, with a minus it will be positive. Anyway, when you take ax square plus bx plus c, whenever a is positive, it is upward parabola. Whenever a is negative, it is downward parabola. Okay. I'm sure even in projectiles you do this. What is that? If your path of a projectile is this, and this is 0, and this is r, your range, the equation of this is y equal to x into x minus r into some constant will come. Am I right or wrong?
Yes, sir.
I'm sure you might have done some questions of using this kind of formula also, right? I think this k will be tan theta, I think, for you there. No, not tan theta. What is your general equation of projectile y equal to x tan theta minus gx square by 2u square cos square theta? So I have to use that horizontal range and all. Okay, this is not tan theta, something else. X coefficient is tan theta. It's okay. So at 0 it is 0, and at 4 also it is 0. It is a parabola downward like this, passing through these two. You would have got the same graph from this also. Don't fully worry about this graph. Later on we'll study about how to draw quadratics and all. Just some overall idea. One thing you can remember, whenever you want a graph of x minus a into x minus b, very simple. On the number line, you take a comma 0, b comma 0, and parabola like this. This is a graph of this, a comma 0 and b comma 0. If you want to multiply the minus, it will be like this. That's all. So here roots are 0 and 4. That's why I marked. But anyway, don't have to worry about too much about it. If the graph of this is this, then you have to take the y equal to x line. Find mirror image of this. That will how you'll get inverse function graph. So maybe the inverse function graph will be somewhat like this. Okay. But our graph is not this full parabola. Why it is not full parabola? Because our domain is not all real numbers, only minus infinity to 2. So it is only this. If it is full parabola, it is not even a bijection, because a horizontal line intersects twice for two different x values, same y value. It is not 1, 1. If it is not 1, 1, not a bijection. If something is not a bijection, inverse will not exist. It will not be a function. You can see this curve is not a function because according to vertical line test, for one x value, two y values. It's not a function. But our graph is not a full parabola, only this piece, because our domain is only minus infinity to 2. And for this piece, the mirror image is only this piece, not this one. Okay, so this is our f of x. This will be our f inverse x. Actually, this is 2 will come. This is 2 plus something. This is 2 minus something. That are these two. And we want the down one, so that is 2 minus. Okay, so for this question, graph may be difficult for some people. So if you do not understand about graph, don't worry so much. I'm just telling you why two options are coming like this. But this is something very simple. Anybody can relate to it. Take some number in the domain, find its image, substitute that image in the two answers, whichever gives your original number back. That is a required inverse function. Is it okay, fifth one?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, let us see the next question. So all the theory is taught. So by this weekend, you have to complete full mains, and then IP functions, everything, and also advanced material, all the even numbers.
By when, sir?
By Friday.
Yes, sir.
Okay, seventh one, they gave different domains and different codomains. Function definition is same, only domain codomains are changing. They're asking when it will be invertible. If you have some idea about the graph of this, it is a little easier. But first of all, sin x plus cos x plus 2 root 2, what is the maximum value and what is the minimum value? A sin x plus b cos x plus c. What is the formula
C
for
plus
maximum
root
value?
under A square plus B square.
Yes, this is the
Maximum.
maximum value. And minimum is c minus root
C
a
minus
square.
minus root 2.
So based on that, when you try to find, you will get maximum is 3 root 2 and minimum is root 2. Because you'll get 2 root 2 plus root 1 square plus 1 square. 2 root 2 minus root 1 square plus 1 square. A is 1, B is 1, C is 2 root 2. This is 2 root 2 plus root 2, 3 root 2. This is 2 root 2 minus root 2 is root 2. So maximum is 3 root 2, minimum is root 2. So most of the codomains are fine. But we have to see whether we have any more than any horizontal line test is failing or not. So you should have some idea about the graph of this. Okay. So if you have time, think about this. Otherwise, we'll discuss tomorrow in the evening. Okay. So evening 4:15, we'll meet again. I'll send a link and we'll continue with this 7th question. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank